I actually just stumbled across this clip where we got Shady McCoy explains the worst trade in Eagles history. And I feel like he's going to talk about the Chip Kelly era, which was one of the biggest downfalls in the Eagles organization. It was one of the worst coaching hires I've probably ever seen. Like, you guys typically don't really miss at coaches. You know, Andy Reid was a pretty dominant coach. Who came after Andy Reid? Someone's gonna let me know. But anyways, I do remember the Chip Kelly era where, you know, people were calling the Eagles the dream team. And then after falling on their face after, like, I think it was like 1 year, a bunch of heads had to roll. Like, from LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy went for like a random linebacker on Miami, and I guess they're about to get right into it. But it's a trip down memory lane where Shady McCoy addresses the 2015 season and how a lot of things went to hell under the Chip Kelly reign. Let's get right to it.
Trade, right? Because when I got traded, I couldn't believe it. I was third in rushing when I got traded. I couldn't even believe it, right? I remember going to his office, and we had
Third?
issues with the offense. I said, man, well, what do you think, though? I mean, you trade this, or no, they cut you, right?
Yeah.
Bro, you cut Deshaun Jackson, dog. How you thought the offense was gonna be when he left? You thought it was just gonna be even better? You know what I'm saying? So I remember having these conversations with him, and even what a guy like Howie, where I was like, yo, man, I was trying to like cry to him about it. You know what I'm saying? Because in the league, you know, the GMs put the teams together and all that.
Yeah.
So, but they gave Chip so much power.
He was the
when
GM.
when I retired and I talked to Mr. Lurie, he said one of the things I regret out of this whole thing is let him trade you. The problem was, the people don't know, is Chip had so much control where he was trying to do different things, and if the owner would go against it or the GM, right, he would pull that cart. Well, hey, listen, you guys promised me when I came here, right? That was part of the deal. I get the whole operation. So they let him trade me, right? Because BG had the same issue.
Which is crazy at the time, bro. LaShawn, like he said, he finished third in rushing that year. I would have to look back at who he was competing with, but LaShawn was right up there with, like, who was one of the best running backs in that 10 years ago? Like, is that Arian Foster era and Jamal Charles? And it's definitely not LT, but LaShawn was definitely in his prime. He was definitely one of the best backs. Don't get that misconstrued.
They didn't
like,
trade BG. The owner stepped in and said, "No, that's enough."
Yeah.
But my
was
thing with
crazy
Chip
to
is I want
trade
to talk
him.
about this story is I got so many stories about this dude. All right, so Howie Roseman. Everybody would say today that Howie is the top GM or top 3 GM right now.
Yep.
He can make the best trades. He does the best contracts. That's what he's doing.
you hear his name
When Andy
come
Reid
up a lot.
left and Chip Kelly became the man, he put Howie Roseman's desk in a whole nother building with like the marketing team.
Mm-hmm.
So
They
it'd be.
disrespected Howie.
I used to love saying because Howie was so smart. I was like a family to us. I can't wait to see how we talk to him about this player, that player, the draft, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that stopped because he moved Howie's desk to a whole other department, so we never could see him. It got so bad. It's crazy because how big he is right now. It got so bad for Howie. He wouldn't let Howie come to practice. Remember, he used to go to all practices and watch us play. He could never do it no more. I'm like, this dude wants so much control. So look, when they get to the trade, Drew Rosehouse, he called me. He said, Shady, I'm in Miami training. He says, this is not a joke. That's the first thing he says to me. He don't even say hello. Shady, it's not a joke. The Eagles are trading to the Buffalo Bills. I say, man, hey, stop playing, man. What you want, man? What you want, Drew? I'm busy. He said, I'm not playing, Shady. They're trading you.
One of
Like,
two
they trading me.
phones.
The next thing I say is, who they trading me for? I'm thinking 2 second rounders, a good player, this, that, third. He says, Kiko Alonso. I take a pause. I say, who is that? I said, let me look him up.
Bro, that trade was so ridiculous, bro. Nobody knew who Kiko Alonso was, but everybody knew who Shady McCoy was. Like he said, he was the third in rushing that year. He had, a year before, he had won the rushing title. And then you trade him for this random linebacker in Miami who goes to Philly and makes no name, creates no buzz, no pop whatsoever. That trade was so lopsided because once Shady arrived in Buffalo, Shady was still dropping 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. Shady hadn't lost a step, and you typically see, I mean, at that time, you don't typically see running backs in their prime getting traded like that, let alone one that was just won the rushing title.
Hold on, True. How you spell that? How you spell that shit? Okay.
He said, how do you...
Who is this dude? I didn't know this dude is. You know where he went to school at?
Where?
Oregon.
He went to Oregon?
Oregon.
He was an Oregon
Chip
guy?
Kelly
Bro.
guy.
Wow.
This dude is crazy.
Kiko Alonso wasn't nothing. I mean, that's a disgrace.
Who is that, though?
For them to trade you for him, that's a disgrace.
He said
bro.
he was a
I mean,
nut.
like, and it was it a 5th round pick too, or it was just like
Bro.
I go for that's why I love the player podcast because you know throughout these guys' careers they've always gotten on the mic and kept feeding us that PC shit. It's great to see like the athletes of the past and even the modern day athletes keep it a bean and say the shit that us fans think. Like Kiko Alonso, you wasn't shit.
It was just you
It
for
was
him.
so bad. Yo,
It was,
look.
It was for you and him, or was it
Watch this.
a draft pick
So
too?
I go to the Bills. Then they gave me a new contract, so I love that. But look, Rex Ryan, you know how Rex Ryan's crazy is.
Yeah.
When I get there, he's all happy. Hey, Shady, I'm happy, you know, this and that. You know, they fly me out there, I meet the owner and all that, hanging out. Rex says, yo, that was the fastest trade I've ever had in my life. Now, Rex been coaching for years.
Right.
I said, what you mean, the fast trade? They said, hey, are you guys interested in Shady McCoy? He said, we was like, yeah. He said, we'll get back to you. Yeah. He said, I'm thinking like, yo, they going to want
I did mistake Miami for Buffalo. It was a trade with Buffalo, not Miami, if I mentioned Miami earlier.
Much for Shady. They going to want too much.
Right.
He said, I called back and said, yeah, we're interested. What's going on? He says, can we get Kiko Alonso? He says, wait. He's like, all right, yeah. Who else? He said, no, that's it. He said, deal. Bang. That's how the trade went.
And it was done deal.
Done deal, bro.
Wow. Well, so like, what was? Because
So
I want to get into my release after, but like, what? I understand you I ain't gonna say Philly guy, but you're a Pennsylvania guy. You from Harrisburg, like
hometown. Yeah, go ahead.
That's home. Pennsylvania's home for you.
My house is an hour away, bro.
Right. So like, how did that really make you feel? Because I just know on the football side the disrespect, but like as a man that was accomplished and that was established, you was in your backyard, your family, and just what Philadelphia meant to you, and for you to be able to be an Eagle. And the reason why I'm speaking this because I don't know if I do know you remember this, but David Culley was my coach at the time, and before we draft you, it was like he was already talking to you or knew about you. I don't know what it because you was at the prep school, and he was my rookie year. He was showing me videos of you, and he was like asking me like, man, what you think about him? Like we gonna try to draft him. He's a Harrisburg guy, right? So David Culley loved you, and he used to always tell me about you. So like once he told me about you, and in the draft, it was like I knew we was gonna get you, but like tell me really how did that really make you feel?
It killed me though. Like. Everybody just thinks it's football, and they think that, all right, well, the Bills ripped your contract and give you a new one. It's more than that, because, like, I had a son, right, and I have a son now, but we just got the custody thing worked out, right, and me and his mom live in the same place, same state, so it was a 50-50 custody. I see him all the time, and, you build that relationship. Yeah. At school, I get to pick him up sometimes because I live so close, and then I get traded. I got to think of that whole, how I'm going to work this out with my son. How I'm going to tell him this. Right. Like, little things you don't even think about. My mom, my dad, we got a great relationship. Now seeing them every week, right? My local church where I have a bad day or I need some therapy or a therapist. I go to them. Like small things you don't even understand. Mm-hmm. And then I had to go to Buffalo. I don't know nothing about Buffalo, right? It's in New York. Now I loved it when I got there, but I didn't know nothing about it. I had to change everything. I had to buy a new crib there. This was so much happened so quick, and that was the first time I ever been basically like, yo,
away from home.
Nah. That too, because I've been playing in Pittsburgh. Yeah. It was like, yo, you not good enough. We don't want you. And I was like, is it my football?
You felt that's what the Eagles felt about you?
I mean, you tell me.
That's what any player would feel like that, bro. Like if you're in a situation where you're in your prime years or you were once at the top and you go from getting re-signed to a mega deal to getting traded. Like that's not a good feeling. Like it kind of makes you feel like you're washed goods or you might not be that guy. And it was the opposite, bro. Like that trade was just, it was a bit Todd. You know what I mean? Just kind of, there is no sensible reason to have done that deal at all. At all. Jesus Christ. Like, when was the last Pro Bowl running back since Shady in Philadelphia, bro? It took some time. I don't think he was just replaced. Damn, I don't know y'all roster like that. Y'all can let me know in the comment section. But yeah, bro, like that trade made no sense at that time.
You trading me for a bag of chips and
I don't think it would be you wasn't good enough.
But hold on. That's the way you perceive it. But I'm saying is
no, that's what you're saying. Chips feeling.
It had to be because think about it, bro. I led the league in rushing the year before, all pro, right?
He led the league. Yeah.
The next year, dog, I was third in rushing. He said I had a decline year. So I'm saying, well, dog, you get rid of Deshaun, so like the team is gonna be on me now,
stack the box.
right? So then I'm like, okay, so now you tell me you want to trade me. You must don't think I'm that good.
Yeah.
So I call him though. I didn't even tell you this part. How I get real competitive.
Yeah.
I said, look, I ain't mad at you trade me, right? I left him a message because he wanted to answer me.
Yeah, he was scared.
I said, yo, I ain't mad at you trading me, but just do me a favor. Put me in because I didn't sign the contract yet. So look, the Bills and they trying to trade for me. I said I'm not going.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really done yet, right? That's how we got more money. But I wasn't going to go. I said, yo, trade me in the division. You trade Deshaun. You cut Deshaun. He went in the division. Right. Let me go in the division.
Yeah.
Since I'm not that good. He never returned my call because he already knew what time it was. So that year, vitamin armor, right? They came out with me, Grunk, and I think Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
Just signed a big deal with him. I'm more excited. When I got traded, bro, I lost all that. They said, yo, we can't promote this in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right? I look
No,
at
it's not a marketable space. It's not a
with
marketable space.
the royalties from the jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, in the last 2 years, when I had in Philly, I was like, I had a top 6 jersey sale. That's money that I'm making. When I went to Buffalo, that changed. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, you didn't send me to Buffalo because you thought it was the best move for your team. You sent me there to die.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have Buffalo Bills now, they wasn't like that back then, right? Where they going TV games, they getting primetime games, they getting these superstar players. They wasn't doing none of that, right? You sent me there because you wanted me to die. You wanted me to be buried.
Disappear.
That's why, yo, I ain't gonna lie. Like, that dude, bro, and people now ask me about it, I don't really get on him as much because I'm older. It's like whatever. But it's like I hate when I see people have that much control and power over Smiley's future.
Ooh. I ain't gonna front. Hearing Shady explain that, you can hear the animosity he still kind of feels. He alludes to the fact that he's gotten older, but that shit, you could tell by him sharing that story, he still feels the pain of being traded, the anger of being traded, and the results of being traded. You affected my money, you affected my relationship with my kids, and ultimately my career. And he was a top-selling jersey in Philly. He got drafted. Yo, we know how faithful Eagle fans are. So he's a hometown kind of favorite. So you take him and you send him to another area in which he's not from. Yeah, you're gonna have fans that support Shady because they seen the work that he did in Philadelphia. But he's not homegrown. You know what I mean? He's not from the root. So the money was definitely not the same, but this was an interesting conversation. This was Shady McCoy reflecting and explains the worst trade in Eagles history. And I co-sign, bro. I didn't get the Chip Kelly era. It was cringy. The man came in and got rid of all the talent. Like, getting rid of Deshaun Jackson in his prime, getting rid of Shady in his prime, and just keeping, who was it, Jeremy Maclin, and a couple of other pieces. It was just, I don't know, bro. I co-signed this story, but it's always interesting hearing how it felt to the players. Oh, shit. Almost gave me a damn heart attack. I'm gonna holler at you guys next video. Mamba out. Damn, girl, you scared the shit out of me.